Hey everyone, today we are going to go over how to combine memorized transactions with billable route tickets for chemical usage and to get those billed over to QuickBooks Online. So the first thing that we need to do is head to our memorized transaction list in the Service Program desktop software. So we're going to go ahead and click Customer Info and then select Memorized Transaction List. This screen will, of course, contain our transactions for monthly services. And as you can see, we have transactions for Barry Allen and John Doe on this screen with their respective charges. We also have those charges associated with a billing group. Now, that may not apply to you if you bill all of your customers on the same cycle. You may not be using a billing group, but we'll get back to that in a few moments. So we need to input some parameters into the system here so that the system knows which charges to select for billing over to QuickBooks in conjunction with our route tickets. Those parameters would be the beginning and ending last posted date. Now you'll notice that both transactions on this screen have a last posted date of February 28th. That's because for this example, we're billing in the arrears. So both of these customers were last billed on February 28th, which of course is the end of February. But typically when inputting a beginning date, we're going to select the first date of the previous month. The reason for that is there may be new customers that you've created a transaction for within the middle of that billing cycle. So their last posted date may be the same as the date entered, which could be February 2nd if you added them to the list on February 2nd or February 15th and so forth. The ending date should be the last date of the month, which is February 28th. So we're telling the system that we have memorized transactions between February 1st and February 28th that we need to combine with our route tickets and get those billed over to QuickBooks Online. The next step here is to select a billing group if we're using billing groups. If you're not using a billing group, you do not have to select a billing group from this drop-down. I am using in the arrears, so I'm going to select in the arrears. Now we need to select a posting date. So we've billed for February. I now need to bill for March. Because I bill in the arrears, I'm selecting the last date in March, which is March 31st. If you bill in advance, then it would be the first date of the following month. So for example, it would be April 1st. The next step here is to post these transactions over to route tickets. That way we can combine them with the other billable route tickets. All we need to do is select Post to Route Tickets. And the system will say, are you sure you want to post these transactions as route tickets? We're going to select yes. It says posting complete. From here, we can head over to our Tickets Pending to Post screen. We click Route Info along the top toolbar of the service program. We can select Tickets Pending to Post. As you can see, I have route tickets now for the monthly service for John Doe and Barry Allen. And I also have tickets that I completed throughout the month for John Doe and Barry Allen that contained billable line items, such as salt and bromine. The goal is to get all of these charges onto one invoice for the customer. The first thing that we need to do is enter a beginning date range. So we're billing for March. Our beginning date range should be March 1st. Our ending date range should be March 31st. And again, we're telling the system here that we have charges between the date of March 1st and March 31st that we need to bill the customer for. The next thing that we need to do is to discuss the post-only values over $0 feature. If you bill for chemical usage, you more than likely have an extensive list of chemicals set up in your customer-specific pricing. Most of those chemicals are probably not being used or taken by the customer every time that customer is serviced. Therefore, we do not want those line items to show up on the invoice. All we need to do is fill in the radio button here where it says post only values over $0 so that we can exclude those line items. The last step here on this screen is to select a posting date. Again, we're going to use March 31st as our posting date. This is the date that appears on the invoice in QuickBooks. Now we're ready to go ahead and post these over to QuickBooks Online. We can click the Post to QuickBooks button and then select Yes on this prompt. Once we do that, your QuickBooks Online sync menu will appear. We can simply head over to the Route Tickets menu option of the QuickBooks Online sync menu. And from here, we can see all of our charges. So we have a monthly service and salt for John Doe. We have a monthly service and bromine for Barry Allen. All of these charges will combine onto one invoice once they're billed over to QuickBooks Online. The last step is to simply click this Post to QuickBooks button, and then the system will say no data to post and refresh the page. That verifies that the invoices have been sent over to QuickBooks Online and they're now ready to be sent out.